Hello and welcome to episode 72 of the She Must Knit podcast. My name is Erin and thank you so much for spending some of your time with me today. I hope you guys had a great week. We had a really good week. Not only did we just do lots of activities, it was a very busy week, but a whole bunch of stuff happened behind the scenes for our family that was just, it just all kind of happened at once, and it was all good things. It's like Olaf, all good things, but it's been quite a week. So I actually feel like I don't have that much knitting to share with you, but I will share what I have, and then I do have some clips at the end with Avery. She wanted to share some of her things with you. There were some things that we did that we just don't have clips of. You know, I'm not always trying to get a video of her. Sometimes it's just, you know, having fun with what we're doing. Monday we were at the beach. I don't have any clips of that, but we also went to a farm this week. We did some art activities. Last weekend there was kind of like a local festival thing going on across the street from us. I did get some clips from that. So it's just been a very busy week. And then I also have the show, the Fiberfest show in Barrie, coming up next Saturday. So I have been sewing for that. And it just means that while I have been able to do a little bit of knitting here and there in the evenings, just not as much as, you know, last week I think I had a pretty productive week. This week was productive just in a different way. So I'm going to share with you what I have. I'm going to share with you some of the things that we've been doing this week as a family. And then, yeah, hopefully next week I'll be able to get a little bit more done. I do feel really good about where I am for the Fiberfest show. So hopefully I will be able to do a little bit more knitting next week. I'm going to start with, I think, my August Desert Vista Dye Works socks. So I think last week when I shared them with you, I was on the first sock. I think I was working down the foot, but I'm not sure. I might have been on the heel and creases. I don't remember. But either way, I have now finished the first sock. So I actually just finished this today, but I'm doing vanilla sock. I'm now doing my vanilla recipe loosely based on the Jangles pattern. I did that earlier in the year, and I've since modified it because I really like this heel structure. But for this month, I didn't do any ribbing down the leg. It's just a vanilla sock. We were at the park earlier, and that is where I Kitchenered the toe. So I finished this today, and we were just at about the halfway point of the month, so I'm feeling pretty good about getting this pair done for the end of the month. So this color is the If They Kill Rick color, and I really enjoy it. I do believe this is a dark brown, and then you kind of have this multicolored stripe in between. I cannot wait to wear these in the fall. The fall is fast approaching, guys. Like, it's a couple more weeks, maybe 2 more weeks before school starts, and then the weather, you know, the cold weather is going to start coming, and I'm going to be able to break out all the socks that I've been knitting over the past couple of months, and I cannot wait to use them. But yeah, so I have this first sock done, and then while we were at the park, after I finished that first sock, she was still happily playing with some of the kids there, so I did cast on the second sock, but I have not got past the point where I am joining it. So I did 3 rows. I've mentioned before that I like to start my cuff down socks flat. I just find it easier to join after a few rows. So I cast on my 81 stitches. I did my 2x1 rib for 3 rows, and my next row I will actually be joining in the round. So I am not going to be rewinding the cake for this sock because it is only a 2-stripe pattern. It's not going to look any different. So now that I have that started, hopefully I will be able to make some really good progress on that. I find once I have a sock started, it's very easy for me just to pick it up and to add some rows. I'll probably put this one by my computer just until I get some good work on it, and then I might bring it out and about with me. So the next project that I am going to share with you are my Dennis socks. This is the 3rd pair of socks that I am completing for him this year. My goal for the whole year for Christmas is to have at least 4 pairs of socks done for him. Last week I showed you that I had finished the first sock, and I had not yet cast on the second sock. And you know, one of my rules is to cast on the second sock as soon as you finish the first sock. It did actually take me a day or so to get that second sock started, but I did eventually start it. and I have got a little bit of work done on the second sock. So this is just done with some Patton's Croy. This is some yarn that I had in my stash that I had put aside specifically for Dennis because he wears through his socks so much. He needs really, really, really strong workhorse sock yarn. And so this is, yeah, it's just another set of yarn that I had set aside for him. For his size, I am doing, I think, 72 stitches. He doesn't need the leg to be as comfortable as I do. I have much bigger calves than he does. So I use 72 stitches for his socks. I still do the 2x1 rib because I just really like that. And I have started just a little bit of stockinette right there. For his socks, because the Croy is slightly thicker, I am using a 2.25 millimeter Chiagu needles. And then for the Desert Vista Dye Works, I am using 2 millimeter, which is generally my preference. So this is all I have done so far on the second sock, but I do feel like these are going to work quickly. Whenever I do work on these, they do work up very quickly because the Croy is a little bit thicker and these needles are just a little bit bigger. So I feel like I might be able to get these done by the end of the month depending on how much free time I have, but it's possible. It's possible that I might have 2 pairs of socks done by the end of August. Another project that I am almost certain that I will be finishing by the end of this month is my Isabella Shrug. Last week I showed you that I finished the body, and quite honestly, I could have had this whole project finished for today, but like I said, I've just, my time has been eaten up by other things. I've just had to do a lot of kind of background stuff that has taken me away from my usual knitting time. I did sit down last night because I wanted to put a little bit more work into this project, and I was able to get one of the sleeves done. So when I showed it to you last week, I had the body done, I had the sleeves put on hold, and I was mentioning how I still hadn't decided what finishing I was going to do on the sleeves. In the original pattern, they do a similar kind of flutter as the back hem here, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to do that. This is for my friend's little girl, and I think I wanted something a little more simple. And so I mentioned perhaps doing an edging similar to one that they have going around the neckband here, which is just kind of, there's a bit of reverse stockinette here, and then you do a little bit of stockinette, and then it kind of rolls on itself and it creates this kind of doubled edge, which I think is really, really pretty, and it's very easy to do. So I mentioned maybe doing that for the sleeves, and Cheryl, you said you agreed with that. You thought that would be a good idea, so I thought that's what I would go with. And this morning I finished the first sleeve. So here is the first sleeve here, and you can see that I did kind of that double rolled edging. I think it looks really, really nice. I think it kind of complements the edging around the neckline really well. And yeah, I'm really happy I went with this, and I'm going to be doing this on the second sleeve. I really like this. Now, one thing I did do a little differently than normal, usually with top-down patterns like this, when you do the sleeves, you kind of pick up the sleeves that you have on hold and you work in the round down to the sleeve edging. I just didn't feel like working in the round. I don't know what it is, if I just felt it was going to be too fiddly, or if the needles that I'm working on this project with, the cord isn't quite long enough for that, and I just didn't want to get another cord. I just didn't want to work in the round. So what I ended up doing was picking up in the round, picking up all my stitches and then just working back and forth flat for the sleeve, and then I did a little bit of seaming once I was done. You can see there is a seam. I seamed the sleeves shut after I was done, and it just, I don't know, it was just easier, it was just more relaxing, it's just more enjoyable for me, and so that's what I did. And honestly, once I sat down and did the sleeve, it really didn't take very long. So I know that this second sleeve I could probably do tonight if I really wanted to. I will show you, so the yarn that I am using for this project is the Willow Guppy, and I still have this whole ball. So after I finished that first sleeve, this is what I have, and I'm not 100% sure if this is going to be enough to do the second sleeve. So I have a feeling that I'm just going to go straight into this one, because I don't want to start with that one and then have to tie on a new, tie on the new ball with only like a couple of 10 rows to go. So I think I'm just going to go straight into the new ball for the second sleeve. But then that is it. This project will be done. I think it's really, really cute. I really like the colors. It's for my friend's little girl, as I said. I hope she likes it. I think it will go really nicely with some of her dresses as a nice little layering piece. I might try and get a picture of Avery wearing it. I did decide to do the size 5, and because it is a shrug and so the fit is a little more flexible, I think Avery might even be able to model it for me. So hopefully next week I should have a finished project for you, and some finished object pictures and such, because I feel like I think I mentioned this either last week or the week before, but looking on my Ravelry project page, I have not finished something other than socks in like 3 months or something like that. My last 9 finished objects are all pairs of socks, and it would be so nice to have a finished object that is just not socks. So this will do that. It will also mark off a square on my bingo card. One of my goals is to make 6 items for kids this year. This will be my 6th item, so that's where it will be marked off. So I'm just looking forward to finishing this, and I know I can do it. I know there's nothing complicated that's left to finish this. I just actually need to sit down and do it. It's just there's a whole bunch of stuff going on that is just taking up a lot of brain space. So really, that is all the knitting that I have finished this week. I know this is going to be a super, super quick episode, but I do have some little clips to insert for you to watch. I know some of you really like seeing what Avery's been up to. I think I have some clips of her at the farm, a local farm of ours. I have some clips of her at the festival that I mentioned. Today we went to a pottery place. So one of the activities that was at the festival last weekend was like this little booth for a local pottery place, and she was able to paint a tile. So today we went to pick up that tile, and then while we were there we stayed and we painted some more pieces. So that's what we did today, and I have a little clip of her talking about her latest creation. And yeah, I think that's it. So lots of little Avery clips, but that's all the knitting. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a fabulous weekend, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.
A little lumpy. Need mine smooth. To make it smooth, a little water, but I don't really want to. I got poofy hair, and I just don't care. Oh yeah, this is me. Oh yeah, this is me. This is me. If I had this long hair, I would be like Rapunzel. Don't.
How are you going to get down? I think you're going to have to drop. Good girl.
My name is Avery, and I just made this kid. Like you've seen in Mommy shows, his name is Hudson. And you know that he doesn't really have a color, but this one had a color, and does it look real, guys? Oh, there's blue over there though. I might put a little tan over here, and I used this speckle, like here. And I did his eyes. That might act right today. And as you see, he has stripes, and this is mommy's over there. And I made this one, but I'm bringing it home.
Okay.
And bye.